Do you see how the entire conversation has changed even within his chat? Sorry. Now in his chat, the conversation is between skinny people who are pretty and obese people who are not, which cuts out, by the way, every body type, just every body type. We're now Kate Moss and I don't know, my 600-pound life are the two dichotomies now between which you are trapped, because there is skinny is privilege, skinny is pretty, and there's fat, and there's nothing in between it, which you've done to yourself because you established that as a goal off rip, which is going to live in your mind now. Okay. This next one is interesting. I feel like I have to go over this because it's a just in case thing. I was watching a little bit of it and I thought I wanted to jump in. So, Vaush video, the guy, that fella, Vaush video. That was a real cough. Oh my God. Vaush video went over some health takes recently. I don't know. People were asking him questions for some reason. You do get put into a position when you're a streamer, I guess, where people are just like asking you fucking questions about life and shit, which happened to me. Do you guys ask me questions? And you do. I guess you feel compelled to answer all the time. The problem is, my boy Ian is a little overzealous in answering questions and a little underzealous in researching them. So he started talking about health and fitness, which is something that's kind of like close to my heart, and I wanted to go over it and see what he said, because I think he started off immediately with something that I'm kind of 50-50 on as far as whether or not I agree with him.
Sorry. Look, people...
So we're going to watch this video. Hopefully I don't stay too long over the stream, and here we go.
People have different levels of difficulty in losing weight or gaining weight or whatever. Bodies are different, and they react differently to... Sorry. Look, people have different levels of difficulty in losing weight or gaining weight or whatever. Bodies are different and they react differently to different things. But like the underlying thermodynamic logic of losing and gaining weight are facts of the universe that no amount of like, I don't know, weird fat positive delusion can undo. Your body is made up of calories. You eat calories. We don't photosynthesize. That's where they come from. There is a relationship between exercise, eating, weight loss, whatever. Now,
okay, so we're probably going to get into a few more of these points. This needs a counter right off the bat. Not because this is the issue. Always. This is the same goddamn issue with fucking Vaush all the time. He's not 100% wrong, but the part where he is wrong is very critical and bears a lot more conversation than all of the rest. Calories... You are, first off, the big wrong is you are not made out of calories. You literally aren't. And that is the biggest mistake that he made, because that is the biggest mistake a lot of people go into or get out of when they diet. You are made out of all sorts of shit. Please consult the first episode of any version of Full Metal Alchemist for more information. But this is a big issue, I think. With talking about health and stuff, and this statement alone needs some addressing, and this is stuff that you should talk to a dietitian. I'm just starting up my drawing program, so I can kind of try to like get these ideas out in a way where that's a little bit more focused. So I'm gonna start up a notepad. Stop Vaush for just a second. All right, I'm gonna let him finish. He might clarify, but that first statement, as per usual, as a thesis, has some fundamental flaws to it. God damn it. I fucking hate it when this stupid thing turns off. All right, go screen, monitor. So, a lot of times when people talk about health shit, they get a little confused on certain aspects of it, right? And I think that causes more problems than you would think. So, a lot of people like to boil it all down as calories in, right, minus calories out is weight loss. All right, this is weight loss, right? WL. There's a lot of issues with this because calories are not what your body is made out of. And that's one of the most important things about this. Your body is not made out of calories. It literally just is not. Now, everything can, to a technical degree, be boiled down into calories. But very, very importantly, your body cannot get all of the calories in itself at all times. So your body is made out of a lot of different pieces, right? So we'll just go ahead and delete this. So if you look just at like your arm, right? So, we have a human arm, right? Like this. You've got bones. Okay? That's terrible. You got a bone. We'll just do one bone, right? Like this. You've got subcutaneous fat. And then you've got muscle, right? Muscles are like right in here. All of this stuff, and then, all of this stuff has different pieces. Just think of it like this. If this is the inside of any part of your body, all of these pieces need different shit all the time, okay? This part needs calcium. Everyone knows that you need calcium. This part needs protein, right? Desperately needs protein. This part needs calories, sort of, to make it bigger. But so does this part, right? This part doesn't necessarily need calories to get bigger, but parts of the inside of it need calories to operate. When you have calories go into you, not every part of your body will benefit from the calories or will benefit from even what comes from them. When you eat, everything that you eat has a whole index of shit that's a part of it, okay? So when you have 1 calorie, right? 1 cal. That calorie can be made out of a whole bunch of different shit. If it's all just hydrocarbons, right? Sugars. So we'll just say, H2C, right? I think. So if it's all hydrocarbons, that's all sugars. The sugars are the easiest to process. They give you a fuckload of energy that goes up and down, right? Your body processes and gets rid of it because all of this shit gets turned into something called ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. That is, if you remember, way back in the day, that is the currency that the body uses to make stuff happen. ATP. This is very, 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 very difficult to get into all the way down, but this shit's simple. So 1 calorie might have all carbohydrates. A single calorie can also be made out of mostly just protein, PRT. It can also be made out of mostly fat. And then also it can have a bunch of chunks of other stuff. Protein is a lot of different shit, right? So you have stuff like niacin, other proteins. So I can't remember all the rest of them. You have vitamins, you got B12 in here. You have calcium, right? Ca, I believe, if I remember correctly. And you have other things, building blocks. You've got iron, you have manganese, right? You need, it's called the sodium potassium pump. So you need sodium and you need, you need potassium. So a calorie, while you a lot of the times try to break it down into like these big things, right? It's fat, it's protein, it is sugars, hydrocarbons, right? Hydrocarbons can be bread, mostly is made out of a shitload of hydrocarbons. Those are plant hydrocarbons. You can have glucose, fructose, you can have lactose, all those oses or sugars. This gets really highly complex, but 1 cow can have all of these. It can have some of these, and sometimes it can have next to almost none of these things. All right. Those are called empty calories, if you've ever heard that. When you try to lose weight, you have to keep a very, very strong eye on all of these things. I just realized that you can't see me fucking referring to them. So, yeah, a calorie is a measure of energy, as somebody's saying. So 1 calorie gets you 1 calorie's worth of energy once everything's sort of boiled down. That's a very powerful and difficult to do metric that scientists put together. But understand, every calorie is not equivalent at all, ever, basically. You have to balance all of this shit out. So it is not fundamentally thermodynamics that make you lose weight, because you can eat 1,200 of 1 calorie, 1,200 of another calorie, and 1,200 of another calorie, And some of them have calories that your body won't produce. Like, for instance, if you eat, 5,000 calories, kcal, which is about like an ounce of gasoline, you've consumed 5,000 calories of gasoline. You are also going to be sick and you'll get benzene poisoning. All right? That'll probably make you lose some weight. Weight comes from keeping your entire body, a week is right around where I think I've heard most doctors that have talked to me, even myself, your total calories in and out per week can give you a ballpark of where you're going to want to lose weight. But, and this is very, very important, don't count calories. If you are not very knowledgeable of how they work or of what you're eating, don't bother counting them. You need to, and even if you are counting calories, if you're doing it right, you should be doing it kind of like the way I do and the way any nutritionalist will tell you. You need to be counting your total foods, your real consumption, because you have to be getting your B12 or whatever. You have to be getting your manganese. You have to be getting your iron. Women, you have to be getting more iron than you probably expect because you guys get all fucking lightweight about it. Calcium, you have to be consuming all of those things. Now, another thing about weight is work, right? So like, your total work equals energy. So work equals energy is very basic, right? There's a different part of this. Work is actually, I think, energy expenditure over time. So work equals energy over time is actually even better way to do it. So work, right, is energy over time. Work is actually what is going to make you spend calories, right? So I'm doing this wrong. Kcal minus is work. So if you want your calories to go down, you have to do work, right? Which is energy over time. That's it. So there's a lot of people that think that, 20 minutes of running, right? 20-minute run that burns, I don't know, probably maybe 200 calories, right? Your 20-minute run that burns 200 calories, you're going to consider that to be a fucking fuckload of work because 20 minutes of high energy expenditure will really wreck you. It'll make you very, very tired. But if the rest of the week, if we count, so that's 20 week, but like if the 1 week, you're only burning a total of 10K calories, right? While consuming 35K, then you're actually not going to be losing any fucking weight. If, however, you have a week where you're burning a fuckload of calories, right? Because you have just a busy job. If you're like a mail person, a delivery person, you might be in a week burning something like fucking, 50K calories, something insanely high, right? So it's hard to fucking keep all that shit inside of you. And so you'll burn down. What a lot of people, I know I'm probably I wanted to try to write this out, but now I'm probably fucking confusing everybody. What a lot of people lose track of when they try to boil it down to extremely simplistic calories in, calories out, is that you only notice the calories that you come in contact with intentionally, okay? And this is where a lot of people's fat problems come from, is you start saying, I know that there's an issue, and I know the issue is my Hostess snack cake addiction, right? Which I have. But you don't pay as much attention to like sugary drinks or something. That can happen. There's also some people that have what you call a lower metabolic rate, basal metabolic. Basal is just like, I exist, therefore I burn energy. You're just going to, by the way, naturally burn most of your energy by being alive. You can, if you're in certain conditions, be so active that you burn a fuckload of weight, but that's usually reserved for people that have athletic jobs. You have to be like a firefighter or somebody in the military, which is, or like a professional athlete to burn that much. But your basal metabolic rate is going to be mostly how you burn calories. And it's always going to be like way higher than what you can individually burn because your body is very efficient. If you start burning calories in like equivalent to your basal rate, your body's going to be like, hey man, guess what? You're fucking tired now. You're exhausted. And also once you start burning a lot of fucking weight off, you're going to be needing all kinds of other shit. So don't think that just because you've burned calories, you consume calories, that they're good. Also don't think that just because you cut calories, that you're going to stop being hungry. It's very, very complicated. Don't boil it down to, and don't think that just because you're working out or just because you're eating less or even both, that you're going to lose weight. Sometimes you're stuck at that weight. I am pretty much permanently 280. I'm either 280 jacked or I'm 280 fat. You know, I just, your fat and your muscle kind of go in and out, at least for me. And it gets extremely fucking complicated. But just understand that what you really need to focus on is understanding more about it, especially if you're confused. If you're like, I have done things and I can't figure out what's going on, get off the internet. Stop listening to me. Stop listening to Vaush. Go to a doctor, or at least look up on YouTube some actual dietitians and stuff. If you can get a consultation, they can probably help you with what's up. You might just have the disposition of a person who just, your body's just inefficient and it burns too much energy. And so now you're always tired for some fucking reason and you're really skinny and you just can't seem to eat your way to being bigger. Sorry, fucking that's your life. Unfortunate. There's probably things that you can do about it. Some people will consume calories and not fucking burn them off. Or they won't burn them off and they'll just still maintain fat. Because the equivalents have to be pretty fucking crazy, right? So for some people, you will keep being fat even though you're exercising, because your body won't switch out the fat for muscle. It'll just keep fucking doing something because you have some sort of like disease or a disorder. In my case, I had hypothyroidism. 5 milligrams of thyroid every day, of Synthroid. I take it because if I don't, even if I like slow down, I just still keep getting fatter. Like if you get a little bit up and your body just tries to make you tireder and slower and shit to keep the fat on you. Like it's not as easy as just eat less. That shit just, if it fucking worked, it would work. There's also the problem of, what does eat less mean? If you're saying eat less calories, okay, but like how many calories were you really eating? You know, and how much food is that? Because eat less sounds like eat less food. But if you need to eat less calories, you know, how do you figure that out? How much calories is actually in a fucking cookie? How much calories is in a leaf of lettuce? If you start eating less, mentally, you're probably going to tell yourself, I should lose weight. But you were already just had like a cake fat fucking, you're just eating a bunch of nasty shit, right? It happens. Don't worry, you're in America. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you, I fucking eat nasty shit as well. You actually needed to eat more probably, which is insane and counterproductive. You're like, what? No, yeah, you need to eat more to lose weight. But what you need to be eating more of is high satiety foods. You should be eating basically like potatoes. Like if you have a diet that's like processed food and oil and sugar all day, eating something like a potato with next to nothing on it will fill you up and make it so that you're like, okay, cool. Because a lot of people crash diets. They do crash diets by basically trying to starve themselves small, and then they fucking get fat as shit again 10 seconds after they stop it, because eating less to them was already eating like trash, but eating less trash, which just made you have almost no fucking nutrients in your body. Your calories went down, but also you're fucking hungry all the goddamn time. Sometimes getting used to new food that, you know, maybe doesn't taste as fucking rich and delicious as, you know, a constant stream of takeout, whatever. But like, this is one of the things, this whole idea of eat less, lose weight is fucks people up like crazy. Because you can actually eat more. What I meant is eat less calories. That doesn't help anyone. Especially somebody that's already eating bad is already eating bad calories, more than likely. So when you tell them to eat less, they're going to say, okay, well, I cut out 3,000 fucking calories a week. I stopped eating all of these Hostess cupcakes. Why am I still getting fat? Well, you're still drinking all of these sodas. Like, well, yeah, but like, all I eat is fucking like a few things. I'm starving all the time. It's like, yeah, hunger is the greatest human motivator. Basically, next to like literal immediate threats of death, hunger will make you do crazy shit. And it is impossible for somebody who has been filling their fucking face with food for their entire life to stop eating as much as they're used to and then deal with hunger pains. They're a lot. They hurt. If you've never been hungry, it's painful. It's excruciatingly painful to be hungry. It freaks you out. It will give you sweats. It will make you hallucinate at times. It will make you angry as fuck at everybody. People in your life will start telling you they're fucking pissed at you because you stopped eating. And if you're already a sad fuck and you eat fucking fat shit meals all the time, now you're sad and you're in pain and everyone's mad at you because you're hungry. And like, why do you have to deal with that shit? You know what I'm saying? Because you're just like, I was just trying to do the right thing and eat less. And now you're probably on a fucking downward spiral because all you can think about is like, I tried to give up Hostess cupcakes for a fucking week because I knew if I just got a few less calories, I could lose weight. And you're crushed. And because it was never the answer. That was never the fucking answer, was eating less. It just wasn't. And also, if you're on one of those fucking, your body doesn't know what it needs. It just knows hunger. There's people out there that don't realize that they have an iron deficiency and they can't stop drinking soda pop. They're freaked out. Freaked the fuck out. Because, like, they stop drinking soda and their body's like, fuck. They're like, oh, I guess I'm just a caffeine addict. No, sorry. You had a fucking iron deficiency and your body thought that you were getting iron from that. And so it just made you do something crazy like that. That's not highly specific, but like, eating is the entirety of your existence. It really is. The first thing that is made out of a fucking human reproductive cell is an asshole and a mouth. And then everything after that is about making sure that fucking train keeps moving. So any interruption in a lifelong diet is going to be, to some people, traumatic. And the trauma response of coming across simplistic, it's just this easy type advice, the wall that you hit when you hit it can fucking send people into a spiral, which is why people with eating disorders often say, please don't fucking talk about eating disorders if you haven't done like at least a little bit of reading. Don't talk about eating disorders because you talking about it can fuck people up. It's crazy, right? Trust me, I'm on. This is the okay way to have it. It's basically, don't make people feel guilty about food, and don't make weight loss seem that simple, because sometimes it just isn't, right? It's almost impossible to count calories. I'll just tell you that right now. I have a bigger focus on fitness. I'm just gonna guess off rip than Vaush does. With all due respect, it is fucking impossible to count all your calories. It just is. Because you're a human being. Unless you are a true, pure train enthusiast and you can make your hyperfixation counting calories and being honest with yourself and never missing, fucking impossible to do for a lot of people. And you can do it for a while, you can keep it up. But I mean, imagine taking notes on all of your food instead of just eating it. And like, that can give you a complex too. It's a very difficult thing to do. I'm not going to give you any like surefire ways to lose weight. I personally, in my Discord, in our fitness section, I outlaw the concept of I want to lose weight. How do I shed a few pounds? How can I just get a few pounds down? Because I don't think that's a healthy way to think about things. I don't think it's going to give you the results that you want. I think most people should just say, hey, I'm at the weight I am right now. And then you should focus on feeling better. What is going to make you feel better? If you feel bad about the food that you're eating, what food can we switch out to make you feel a little bit better about the food you're eating? Don't worry about scales. It hurts my feelings. There's probably a lot of people out there that are looking at me and they're like, hey man, you're fucking whatever. You know, like, you look good. Oh, you're skinny, whatever. Dude, I go to the doctor and I dread the moment I have to step on the fucking big guy scale and watch the number go. And I'm always even rooting for myself. Like, come on, like, be 275. And then it's like 289 or something. And that shit fucking hurts my feelings. It sucks. It fucking sucks. And hearing the response to it be something like hyper simple, it's basic thermodynamics. Like, no, it's not. Because first off, thermodynamics is basic thermodynamics is the description of like energy decay at the smallest level of like physical existence. We're talking about micro and macronutrition, which is one of the most complex fields of medical science that exists. It's so complex, it literally changes almost the entire prescriptions for it if you just go a fucking time code over. That's how fucking complex micro and macronutritional like fucking science can be. It's gnarly. It's insane. So don't boil it down to hypersimplistic context for other people's sake, because you can fuck other people up, especially if this is their first brush with it. I'm just telling you, I get it. It's hard to lose weight. It is very difficult to lose weight. Sometimes losing weight is not the answer. If you want to feel better about yourself, focus on feeling better about yourself. If you want to try to go into the gym and you're fat or you're ungainly or you feel crooked when you stand or you just don't like the way that people work, don't worry. You're not alone. People understand that. It is, and this is my crazy thing. With health consciousness, it's okay to be upset with your body. It's okay to like not be positive. I think there's a lot of that out there as well. I don't know if that's where Vaush is going to go with this video, but I think there's a lot of toxic positivity where it's like you have to love yourself. You have to feel good at any size. Like you don't have to feel good. You don't have to. It's okay. It's okay that you fucking hate yourself. It happens to the best of us. Take a breath. Be mad. Don't hurt yourself because you hate yourself. Try to fix yourself. Make yourself a little bit better. Focus on things. Reach out to people. Anybody that wants to talk about like getting in shape or working out, positive aspects for body building, for health, positive stuff only. That is available, by the way, in our Discord. But I highly suggest you seek out professional medical advice with anything. If you're going to start a fitness program, if you're going to start a diet, always consult your physicians, consult your doctors, make sure that you're good. Because I don't want any of you guys telling me, well, Tyler, you were talking about fucking how you like to do squats in the gym and my knee exploded because I didn't talk to my doctor about whether or not I could do this thing because I had surgery 14 years ago and I didn't know that my knee could fucking explode. Like, go talk to your doctor first, get into it. And they might be able to help you figure out some other stuff. There's no solid answers, but my thing is focus on feeling good first, because a lot of it comes from being positive about the possibility to change. If you hate your body, this is day one. You can say, I'm fucking pissed at myself. Don't dwell on it. Understand that you can walk away from there and also feel good, maybe better somewhere down the line, but that feeling of dysmorphia might live with you forever, and that's okay. If every once in a while you feel like you hate yourself or you hate your body or you hate the way you look, it's okay. It's okay. You're not in trouble. You can share that with people. Don't overshare. Don't make their problems your problems. I have it. Everyone has it. You're never going to find anybody that has worse body dysmorphia issues more than likely than at gyms. And they'll tell you, like, yeah, I fucking hate my pec. I don't like this. I hate the way my skin sits. I'm fucking really like sensitive about the wrinkles on my face now that I'm 35. It's all part of the same problem. All part of the same problem. And you can work on it. You will fail. You will falter. You will stumble. Stand back up and start again. I've got to start again from zero again. I've done it twice in the last 2 years. My back is just injured because I had to move stuff a bunch and it's just permanently injured. I had to take another week after 5 weeks off at the gym. So when I start back again, I'm going to be way further down the line on strength than I was. It's going to be painful because I'm going to get sorer than I do when I'm going all the time. It's okay. I faltered. I fell short. I'm not an athlete. I'm a guy in his mid-30s that's trying to get in shape and stay in shape. You are the same as me. Maybe it's a different situation. You might be ahead of me. You might be behind me. The same. The other people at the gym, same thing. All right? Just keep that shit in mind. Positivity, but not toxic positivity.
Of course, there are people who have thyroid issues or other stuff like that, where the relationship between their input and output and how much weight they gain.
Have I got an MRI on my back? No, I might be getting one. I think I had an MRI forever ago. I've had X-rays, so it is what it is. But it's getting better. It's getting better again. So
just how much
I'm going to ignore it until it's a problem.
Is like way the fuck off. That doesn't mean everyone has the same amount of like ease. You know, like me saying that it's all calories in, calories out is true, but keep in mind that like being able to run is ultimately about the expense of calories, but that doesn't make you a sprinter, right? Like if a sprinter looked at you and was like, oh, you can't run very fast. Well, it's literally like calories in, calories out. You burn calories to expend muscular energy. You can't do that. Like, and then they like run really fast away from you before you can respond. That's not really like a helpful answer to you. That doesn't give you much information you can use.
That is a highly improbable that is a highly improbable explanation. I don't know what that. I don't know a single runner that would tell you it's calories in, calories out to be able to run. I mean, obviously it's true, but I think they would probably be like, why just run all the time? I'm
In
a
reality,
runner.
effectively gaining or losing weight or doing anything else to your body is more about building effective processes to healthily adjust your intake and output and what you can do to like balance things out. And sometimes people's bodies are arranged in such a way that the requirements necessary for them to lose weight, because their body has a really tough time processing some stuff or whatever else, might be unreasonably high. There are lots of people out there who are fat, not because they're less disciplined than you, but because they exert the exact same amount of discipline as you, fulfilling the exact same hunger cravings, exercising the exact same amount as you, but their body just does not process food the same way as you. The calories in, calories out thing might still be true, but if they literally like intake fewer nutrients or have a harder time with hormone signals because of like thyroid problems, they might have the same willpower as you and just have a harder time. The problem with people who do that tough love anti-fat bullshit of like, oh, calories in, calories out, it's easy, bro, everyone can do it. Like, no, not everyone can do it. And for people who have trouble losing weight on like a clinical level, maybe clinical solutions are needed.
See, this is like one of the issues with Vaush. He's right, but the way he just articulated it before is the same, except for this time he just said it with a snotty voice. Like, I think somebody said this before, like sometimes it's like he doesn't actually believe in these points, but he knows he has to make them. I mean, I know that's like grifter shit. I don't know if that's actually the case, obviously, but there's just something that's absolutely missing in this, you know, the first 2.5 minutes of this that I feel is very critical to forefront this sort of conversation. There just seems like so much missing in his assessment and how he's approaching things and how he's discussing them, that it's very odd. I listen to a lot of different people, and I've got to say, I think it is actually kind of unique to Vaush in a very, like, this is his signature kind of thing. Not like he's uniquely bad, but just this sort of shortcoming is exceptionally noticeable from him.
Needed. But most people who are fat because they lack discipline. Let's not like pretend. Let's not delude ourselves into thinking that everyone who has weight issues has those weight issues because of like, you know, some sort of like uniquely constructed body. The reason more people are fat these days is because of our food. You know, people used to make simpler meals that were cooked with more basic ingredients, but nowadays everyone's going off for their fucking like 8,000 calorie coffees or Starbucks or whatever. Calories are everywhere.
Can't believe we brought it to the fucking goddamn people these days and their $5 coffees. What? Okay, so what he's trying to articulate is, and I don't know what he meant by the simple meals, because people still cook for themselves all the time. And you can cook simplistic home meals for yourself that are actually like really, really bad for you, by the way. Home cooking does not mean healthy cooking. Processed food does not necessarily mean unhealthy food. None of it's absolute in any of these situations. The problem with a lot of modern food, and not even a lot of modern food, is just high calorie density because of flavoring agents. In certain processed foods, all of the ones that you would expect. It's not. No one's getting duped, really. It's all stuff that we've known is bad for you forever. Full sugar, corn syrup sodas just have a really high density of syrup in them. Different types. Some of the stuff that we don't know about, or that isn't immediately obvious, that's really bad for you, that does cause problems, especially with cholesterol, are things like monounsaturated fats, I believe it is. Saturated fats are fine. Unsaturated fats are okay. Monounsaturated or polymonounsaturated, I can't remember, monounsaturated, I think it is. These are in specific types of cooking oil, and the oil saturates the food when it's cooked in it. those are harder for your body to break down and turn into like cholesterol packets inside of your blood. They're very dangerous for you. Shout out chemistry class. That is an issue. Like, that's an issue that's in certain types of food, right? Because it's actually soaked into the way that it's cooked. Those have been, is it triglycerides? No, I can't remember. It's a glyceride thing. It's fats are crazy. There's a lot of different types of fats. Just having fat in your food is not necessarily bad for you. The calorie density to satiety in a lot of foods is what's actually bad. Your body loves salt. Salt is hyper basic. Salt will actually generally get you to eat way worse stuff than sugar will. Having a lot of extra sugars and stuff is also bad. One of the things in America specifically is that a lot of our breads are overladen with additional sugars because basically Americans got hooked on brioche styles of processed bread. So instead of our bread being made out of water, flour, and yeast, and maybe a little bit of salt, like breads in other countries, the ones that when you're like, oh, this is really good bread, it's because your bread actually has less ingredients. So in that case, he's technically correct about simplicity. You can get breads without sugars from most bakeries, even at Kroger and stuff. You can get sugar-free breads, just double check to see. Your Wonder Breads, any bread where you can crunch it up, and it turns into a little ball, and you taste it, it tastes sweet. That is a bread that has additional sugars. Those breads are bad for you. They get extra brown. They're easier to brown because of the sugars when they cook. That's just one of the things. You can get a crust on it, a nice brown, healthy looking crust, while not cooking it at exceptionally high temperatures or for a very long time. It also got sugar. Potato chips, stuff like that has salt in it. Your body loves salt, especially once you start sweating. If you're fat, you probably sweat more than the average person because your body is higher in temperature. So while you're sweating out water and replacing it, your body's like, fuck, I want salt. If you're diabetic and you have sugar rush stuff because your fucking body's like, give me all of the fucking water ever because of reasons. When you're running all and drinking that water and pissing a bunch, even though you're getting rid of the bad sugar electrolytes that you need to get rid of or just normal, you are losing also salt electrolytes. The salt is also connected to, you get a fuckload of salt in the chip. The chip has got sugar in it. You start getting all of that stuff again and again and again and again. So these aren't necessarily just the calorie density. It's also the nature with which people approach food and why the food sneaks up on them. Because you feel like a chip is small, a lot of calories in the bags of chips. Easy to eat a lot of bags of chips. Chips don't have a lot of satiety. They're highly calorie dense. They're highly salt dense. And then a lot of the other things you can eat are highly sugar dense. That's the issue. But a lot of these come prepackaged so that you can understand the issue is not you enjoying yourself sometimes. Understand that there's aspects of your body and the way that it works that your mind is going to trick you into wanting those or just literally make you want those because they might have something in them that your body is needing, but you can do other stuff to get it, right? You can get it this way, that way, the other. And then get to satiety. Satiety is what you really should be searching for when it comes to food. Am I satisfied, right? That's a thing to work on when it comes to selecting what you eat so that you can kind of fill your stomach up, you know what I mean, without packing it full of extra additional calories. And that's a way that you can eat more while eating less calories. You know what I'm saying?
A food is made to be addictive. It is injected artificially with chemicals that trigger reward and response signals in your brain, regardless of how full or like fulfilling or healthy it is.
Satiety? Oh my God, is it really? I've only ever heard that word. I've only ever seen it spelled out. It's satiety?
Satiety.
Say shitty. I hate that. Satiety. Because you get sated, right? Satiate. Because it's got the E. Satiety, I guess, makes sense. I hate it, though. I hate it. I might not say it. I hate it. I hate that.
A lot of the food that might otherwise be good for us can't really be found in high quality. For example, the fruits that you buy at a grocery store, especially if you live in an area that doesn't have easy access to like good grocers, those fruits might fucking suck. Like fruit is good for you for the most part, but the difference in quality between food that you can get at like a farmer's market that's literally doing like farm to table shit versus like some grocery stores that I've been in, man, it literally feels like their entire fresh produce aisle is like dead or dying. And I can't really blame a person for not wanting to like make healthy fruit and veg.
Okay, this is definitely, I have to jump in on this real quick because there are just standards for selling fruit. Sometimes places will be whipped. Vaush is a known non-grass toucher who I think exists in second and third shift. Produce is delivered in the morning or sometimes like whenever it's delivered. A lot of the times the fresh stuff is put out in the morning and so it will be gone by the end of the day because it's produce. It's only fresh for a day. So if you're going to your grocery store and none of the fruit is ever there or it seems like your produce section has been obliterated and there's only a few things, but it's a big produce section with plenty of room, try going to the grocery store a little earlier or on a slightly different day. You might find that there's actually shit there, but you're just going at the end of the stocking cycle. His stuff is put out and brought back all the time. I've had a lot of issues like that when I was working second shift, where I was going to do my grocery shopping at like 2 a.m. at a 24-hour Kroger, and they don't have fucking shit right then.
Veggie foods in an environment like that, people aren't given a lot of education about how to cook well and healthy and filling. Like we have a culture where we really, really like highly incentivize and prioritize
less of the
eating out
freshest
or
stuff
going
is
to
by my 1
restaurants.
p.m. at the latest. Yeah, I mean, it depends. You can ask if you go there and you're like, don't like, this is just a thing. It's just a Tyler thing. Don't always make assumptions based on your worst ideas of stuff. Don't get yourself stuck where you're like, I've watched a bunch of lefty creators and then you're like, I have convinced myself I live in a food desert with no fresh produce while you're standing in the produce section of a place. The food deserts, by the way, if you're worried about that, the food deserts that have no produce is not a Kroger. It might be 1 or 2 Krogers, but it's people mean like I go to a fucking Family Dollar and that's where I get all my food and it's like a frozen gallon of milk and like some fucking like bags of like broccoli heads and like frozen pizzas. That's what people mean when they have a food desert with no produce. If you're arriving in a produce section, if you're in an area where that doesn't create produce, like you live in a fucking desert or some shit, well, like, hey, it is what it is. But more than likely that produce section gets stocked because that's how they make their fucking money. So more than likely, if you ask somebody that works there, like, hey, man, where's all the vegetables? They're like, you're here at 8, man. The last stock is at 6. All the people come in after work and they get the food when they get off work. Well, I think we might have an extra thing of apples in the back. You know what I mean? You just got to get there on time. Sometimes it's worth it going a little bit further. I do wish there were more like on the side, fruit stands and shit. But like, bro, we're getting this. We're actually ordering our vegetables straight from a farm now. It's a farm share thing. It's kind of cool. Costs a little bit of money, but also like, hey, it helps out a fucking like a literal farmer. So cool. They're just gonna give us their shit, right? And they're like, we pick stuff. So I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna get. A lot of kale. And then you eat it. There's a lot of ways to get 2 vegetables, by the way. Don't get doomered. Also, fresh produce has its limits, which is why we invented the process of canning in like 7000 BC. Pickles, canned vegetables, canned foods, they have their limits and their benefits and stuff, but a lot of times, most of what you can get from vegetables is still in the canned versions of them. So like, if you're like, fuck, I really wanted spinach, but I couldn't find fresh spinach, just go ahead and buy canned pulped spinach. More than likely, it'll get you there. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Do your research about whether or not this, that, or the other might be good for you. But like, you can get stuff from the canned section, canned food, pickles. Shout out all of my Korean people in chat who are like apparently the kings and queens of pickling. I should say queens because I guess it's like every Korean person has a grandma that can make 15-gallon things of with that the kimchi. And fucking, you got they taste really good. Pickles are not only just, by the way, sorry, Pickles are not only just pickled cucumbers, Americans. Pickles are all of this shit preserved in vinegar and salt water. And you can get pickled stuff. So if you want like vegetables that still have like all of the nutrients and shit in them, but you can't get them fresh, you can try to get them pickled. And it can still pretty much get you there as far as like the healthiness of it, right? It's definitely going to be better. If it's going to be better than a packet of Oreos, you should try it out. And also if you have food you just want to keep and you're like, I bought too much of it, you pickle that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Primary means of social engagement. So people don't learn how to cook.
Wait, frozen vegetables bad? Some, but generally no. Not from what I understand. No, fresh produce is better than all canned, frozen, preserved produce. It will just because it's new. It's the same. It'll just taste better. It'll definitely still have more of its nutrients and stuff. It'll be on this side of the canning process. But like people have survived off of canned foods and preserved foods and pickles and shit for millennia. They're not going to kill you. And more than likely, they're going to be better for you, just straight canned stuff, than, highly, highly, highly processed, sugar and salt filled finished foods. Stop thinking of processed foods as being negative. I know that's like a very big thing, but I know more about the food industry than probably the vast majority of streamers that you watch. I know that's like but it just is the case because I was raised in it, and also like I'm not freaked out by like words, and so I just try to learn shit. All food has to be processed for you to eat it. This is gonna be crazy to you, but after you're done chewing fresh food, it goes down a hole in your neck into a gigantic vat of acid and boils to nothing, and then it gets turned into shit, which you still fucking consume. So don't get too freaked out about the food being processed ahead of time. Like you have to eat everything has to be a whole vegetable, a whole bit of meat. When it gets picked, that's an aspect of processing. So finished foods is what you should be a little bit more skeptical of. The fewer steps there are between you and the food being completely cooked. When it's completely cooked, that's when it's going to be more likely to be full of like preservatives. It's just a shitload of salt and other stuff. That's going to be when someone else has decided what all of the ingredients are going to be for the finished product, and so they might have chosen way more salt than you might choose. You can't take ingredients out a lot of times. So if you get, your Chef Boyardee, can of whatever, right? That's noodles and their can and their salt and whatever they wanted to put in it. If you buy your own noodles and then your own sauce and mix that up in a different way, you're going to be in much more control of what the finished product is because a lot of those ingredients you can't take out. So they're going to put in the sugar, they're going to put in the salt. The closer you get to a finished food, the less control you're going to have over what is in it at the end. That's what you should be focused on because that's going to be where you start making decisions about what goes into your body more effectively. So if you start buying a lot of frozen stuff, that's a complete dinner, that's going to have what it has in it and then whatever you have to put on it to make it not taste like shit, which isn't just an additional amount of sugar and salt more than likely. So keep that in mind. It's okay to eat frozen stuff, frozen whole foods and shit, processed stuff. One of the things I think people should get more of is cans. Canned food is great, especially if you're trying to cook stuff and save yourself time and money. Canned beans, very good for you a lot of the times. Shout me out if I'm wrong. You can eat a can of black beans, eat that shit up in a pot, put in some salt and some like, chili pepper stuff. Money, all right? Rice and beans, money. You can just eat that shit. Fucking canned sauce, usually pretty good. Canned tomatoes, very solid. Canned spinach, very solid. If you like corn, canned corn. You can just have corn. It's mostly just corn with a little bit of salt on it. All of that shit's going to be better options than whatever's in like the Stouffer's freezer fucking food section. But it's going to take a little bit more effort. But all the effort that you take into finishing it, it's going to be filled with steps where you can choose to put in less of the bad ingredients. That's what you have to keep in mind.
or people don't have the time to cook because they're overworked. Like, the point that I'm getting at is there are so many like systemic issues that are worth addressing and taking seriously. And if you don't, like, you're
honest,
being kind of
to know
a
more
fucking idiot.
about almost anything
But
than most other streamers.
at the end of the day, you know,
I feel stupid.
Systemic or otherwise, calories in, calories out. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's fucking go. Eat that brown rice. Eat that chicken breast. Calories in, calories out. Let's go. Okay, we're going on our daily 15-minute walks. Let's fucking go. It's not just about weight loss. It's about fitness too, right? You can lose weight but still be unhealthy. There are tons of unhealthy skinny people because their organs might be poorly treated. They might not get the nutrients.
This is the other thing. This is where I kind of felt it was going to go. When you permit for even a second the conversation to be about weight loss instead of like wellness, right? You do turn into a situation where you can say, okay, well, it's okay if you basically fail, but the success state is being skinny, right? Which is where we're taking, like, you know, but you can even hit the success state and still not be healthy. Whereas I think mine version, wellness is what you need to focus on. It's not like health at every size, as in like, okay, you're 300 pounds past the fucking limit of what your bones can hold, and your entire fucking all of your internal organs are shutting down because you're collapsing your body with the weight of itself. No, obviously that's completely fucking unhealthy, but you can be acting healthy at any size, and you can be pursuing health at any size. You know what I mean? You might just be a 325 motherfucker. That's just it. You're just a pumpkin-headed ass fucking 6'9" dude or lady, I guess, just gigantic as fuck. All right, and you're there is no version of you that's skinny, right? You're just a big old fucking shack-built motherfucker. You can still be healthy. You know what I mean? And you can still pursue an overall plan that's like, all right, you know, I fucking drink on the weekends. I have my 6-packs. I like a little wine. I love some chocolate cake. But, you know, I balance all that out. That's it. That's wellness. I'm okay with where I am. I don't hate myself for the decisions I make on a day-to-day basis. I feel like I can breathe better than I used to be able to, and if I want to get a little bit better, I can, and I have some leeway to feel bad. But when you turn it into weight loss, you create, and anyone who's listening to you, maybe subconsciously, a permanent success state that equates to skinniness. You know what I'm saying? Which is not it. You know, and you can congratulate, you can have your goal is I want to be skinny. That's also fine. You know, compared that if that's what you're trying to articulate yourself as, I want to be skinny, that's a goal. All right, that's a goal because for specifically that thing. If you think you can achieve it and it's going to be healthy, fine. Are you like okay when you get there? That's another conversation to have, you know. And like, are you still making healthy decisions as that person? I'm never 100% in disagreement with Vaush. I just feel like this, and in a lot of other situations, he has these conversations not understanding them better than the most surface level, which creates situations that cause very bad results down the line for people that listen to him.
Nutrients they need. They might not have well-developed muscles. They might have like, issues with posture, balance, their bones, a bunch of stuff,
the opposite
right?
of gains.
Like losing weight helps in a lot of cases because there's literally less weight taxing your body, but
it's also not weight. Right? Don't try to you don't let yourself frame it as losing weight. Okay, even if you're a fat person, frame it as I want to lose fat, not weight. All right, because then you don't have to become a slave to your scale. The scale is the only thing that can tell you if you've lost weight because it'll give you a number. Your mirror and your partners and the world will tell you when you've lost fat. Because you'll shrink, all right? You'll be a little bit slimmer. You might still be the same fucking weight, especially if you're a guy. If you're a dude and you start hitting the fucking rack, you know what I mean? And you're 275 and you're fucking out to here, right? And you can't fucking move and you can barely fucking breathe. You might work out hard as fuck for 3 years and be jacked as shit with one of them little fucking skin suits. Well, it's fine. And then you'll stand on the scale and you're still 285. You haven't lost weight but you've accomplished every goal. Don't let yourself get caught where you're turning your body into something that is weighed and like turn yourself into a commodity. Don't try to lose weight. Try to lose fat. Try to gain muscle. Try to achieve a sense of confidence. Do stuff that is measurable to you, right? And that you will feel good. Do you think you'll actually feel good losing just like 5 pounds? Will that change the thing? Maybe that is your goal, and I won't take it away from you, but I'm telling you, focus on the specific thing that you're trying to accomplish and don't let it kind of spiral out.
Just generally speaking, skinnier people have more pretty privilege, though, compared to obese people. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there are lots of like...
Am I not right? Do you see how the entire conversation has changed even within his fat? Or even with his chat, sorry. Now, in his chat, the conversation is between skinny people who are pretty and obese people who are not. Which cuts out, by the way, every body type. Just every fucking body type. We're now Kate Moss and fucking, I don't know, my 600-pound life are the two dichotomies now between which you are trapped, because there is skinny is privilege, skinny is pretty, and there's fat, and there's nothing in between it, which you've done to yourself because you established that as a goal off rip, which is going to live in your fucking mind now. But that's not where you should go. Where's muscular in there? Where's my dommy mommies in there? Where's my little fucking 5'6", 245 pound, 700 goddamn pull-ups in a row, fucking bunny from My Hero Academia cosplayers? Where are they at? You know what I'm saying? Where's my lean beef patties? That doesn't exist in there. And all of the people who are like, fitness icons in that area are gonna be like, well, that's not fucking... I used to think about things like that, and I hated myself, and now I think about this in different ways. Don't let yourself create the issue that you won't ever be able to overcome right off rip. Try to think about these things, and if this is the first time you've ever thought about it, consider
Unfair
why you thought
social
about
reasons
it that way.
Why it is better to be like skinny or fit in a lot of cases. But at the end of the day, what matters most is that you are how you want to be. I think that people should be the thing that makes them happy. And I think that a level of physical fitness will always be a component of that, but not necessarily being skinny. You can be physically fit and be pretty, robust. If you look at like the traditional body that healthy, strong people had for most of human history, they didn't look like bodybuilders. They were like plump, portly, stout, strong people. You want to have fat on you for hard winters, and it literally protects your body. Like, it is literally better for you to be...
Yet again, the issue is this kind of like Western centric, like hard to survive the hard winters. We're not taking into account the fact that some people think skinny is bad. You might be from this or that African nation that has an extremely arid climate, and it actually what is gonna fucking be like hot to you is gonna be somebody that has enough food and enough like endurance to pack on a bunch of muscle, because everybody's fucking naturally just skinny as shit because your bodies don't even want to try to build up all that fat to carry around or what have you. Different fucking cultures all over the place, but yet we fucking established this skinny first, and then you're coping kind of getting into these other types of bodies where it's just like, dude, that's your body. It's cool. All right, where can we go? We're still allowing skinniness to be a guiding light, whereas it's just an aspect. Sometimes it's something that people fucking hate. The amount, if you actually get into fitness forums, the amount of people that are like basically half in fucking tears because they work out 4 times a week. They are consuming 5 to 15,000 fucking calories a week, or a day. Insanely high amounts, and they cannot build muscle mass, or they cannot pack on even just fat, and it's killing that. That's just a common thing. So like, don't let that dichotomy, and don't let like traditional appearance rule it. Be happy for you. You know what I mean? I know this is like still what he's sort of saying, but it's
dad
just,
bods basically.
I hate the way it's phrased.
Or like kind of thicker women. That was like a smarter way to be built. And if you want to be fit and also want to be chunky or like fat or whatever, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I literally don't give a shit. Hell yeah. I still think you should try to be healthy in terms of like nutrient intake and fitness. But that's also for your benefit. Like, obviously, it's better to be fit than not fit, whether or not you want to be skinny or fat. The main thing that bothers me is if a person is living a life they don't want to live and they're being a little bitch about it. That's what bothers me. If a person is fat and they don't want to be fat, they want to be skinny, and it's just all the whining and insecurity and the blah, 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 I don't give a fuck. That's your problem, not mine. Do what you need to, okay? As long as it's healthy. Like, fucking, come on. But if you want to be not whining and if a person is fat and they don't want to be fat, they want to be skinny, and it's just all the whining and insecurity and the blah, 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 I don't give a fuck. That's your problem, not mine. Do what you need to, okay? As long as it's healthy. Like, fucking, come on. But if you want to be like chubby or fat, like, hell yeah. Awesome. This is what people mean by body positivity, by the way. You should always be happy with how you are, no matter what you are. Because if you're ever not happy with what you are and you get all doomer and depressive about it, it's really unproductive. And it usually means that you're not likely to actually do any changes like on yourself because you get really downer about it. A positive attitude is the foundation of any kind of self-improvement. You can't be negative about it. Like, there's no way around it. Even back when I was a lot fatter and I would say pretty
And that's, we got back into it. I disagree. I disagree hardcore. I think it's okay to be negative about yourself. Don't dwell on it. Don't let it turn into an act of self-harm, but also don't get fucked up that you hate yourself. It's okay. You do. That's fine. It happens. You losing your mind. Pissed. It happened to me last week. I was fucking hating myself. I'm still kind of right now because my fucking back hurt so bad I couldn't go to the goddamn gym. I had to lay in bed for a few days just to recuperate, and I was down on myself, and it's okay. That's the thing, is I'm not failing by hating myself for a little bit. Self-loathing is fine. It's healthy. It really is. I know it doesn't seem like it. Sorry, I'm talking so much. But it's just like anything else, where if it's done in moderation and you know why you're doing it and you're not letting yourself run away with it, it happens. It's fine, all right? Sometimes it's kind of like crying. If somebody goes around crying all the time, you're like, okay, are you sick? Do we need to have you? But like, just sometimes fucking hating yourself, being mad, and giving yourself some negative reinforcement can help too. If you're the kind of person who thrives off of negative reinforcement and it gives good results to you, and you don't feel sick, and you've maybe talked to a fucking psychiatrist about it, just in case, that's okay. I know a lot of guys who thrive on negative reinforcement done in the appropriate context. You know what I mean? It's very similar, if you're getting confused about this conversation, to people who are masochist, right? Not in a negative way, but people who are like, they like pain as or being dominated as part of their intimate partner experience, so to say. That doesn't mean that they want that all the time from everybody. Or that every time it happens, it will be positively received by them. You know what I mean? Very similar sort of thing. Some people just need or like or will enjoy some negative reinforcement. Some people have to hate themselves a little bit in order to grow. I know it doesn't sound nice because you're like, self-hatred, blah, 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 blah. Everybody goes through it. And it has to be said very explicitly that it's okay. Now, if you are moping and wallowing and just being like, you're just trying to get attention for your failures, that's a whole different thing. But, that's why I say, no absolutes about stuff. You gotta get to it and figure out why the things are happening and what's going on, and treat every individual fitness and health journey as what it is, which is the fitness and health journey of a single body occupied by a single mind who is going to go through this world in a single point in time, right? And that individual aspect of it has to be taken into account. If you find yourself not conforming or not understanding how everybody else is doing it and it's not working for you, that's okay. That's probably your specific journey that you're on. I know this sounds like new age shit, but that's really true. You know what I mean? You might have one thing that you need to get ahead. And maybe it was negative reinforcement. Maybe you need a little crew of people and you all call each other fat shits, and, you go to the gym and work out and it works out for you. If that's how you do it, it's okay. Because I just don't want to apprise this, seemingly negative thing that can work with a permanent the negativity that goes into it. It is not because it is negativity negative in and of itself. Things are a lot less intuitive than that, especially when it comes to exercise and self-care.
Objectively a lot less attractive, I still really didn't care.
I did leg day
I lost
today.
weight and now, in my opinion, look better because I wanted to, but at no point have I ever really been downer. I've always had a pretty strong...
Sligo, you put it in a good way. Just don't hate yourself to the degree where you start to believe you don't deserve anything better. Yes, and don't ever love yourself to the point where you think you can't improve. Two sides of the same coin. Thank you very much, Sly.
Belief that if I wanted to, I could lose weight, and then to prove it to myself, I did. If you're chill about it, you can get a lot of work done in a lot of cases, I think. But you have to be positive about it. And you're not doing fat people any favors by like shaming them for being fat. I do think it's good to encourage your friends to be fit, though. Going on walks, being able to like stretch, being flexible, some degree of strong, stuff like that's good. Have you reached your goal weight? I don't have a goal weight. Weight is a very, very, very bad metric for health and also for your appearance. Like, people will look very different at different weights. A lot of it has to do with bone structure and how much weight your body naturally carries, fat distribution, whatever else. Weight can be a good numerical metric to go by, and it's convenient because it's empirical. Like, you can measure it with a scale, but it's not too helpful, and bad for your mental health. Yeah, true. Don't go on the scale every day. Day to day, the weight you see on a scale will be reflected, it'll be a product more of the recency of your last shit than it will any actual progress. You can, maybe once a week, even then, once a month. And water weight. Yeah, water weight, shitting, pissing, whatever. Any tips for skinny folks and building muscle and mass? Yeah, lift weight, skinny. Get out there. Ooh, let's go.
So if you're really skinny and you cannot pack on muscle mass, first and foremost, see a doctor, especially if you've gone after it for a while, and get blood tests done. There are a lot of things that can keep your body from creating muscle. They range in scale from you lying to yourself about how much food you're actually eating, to serious hormone deficiencies, to undiagnosed genetic maladies that you didn't know you had. Something like, I don't want to say Marfan syndrome, but like something that's in that similar ballpark that will literally just prohibit you from building muscle. Double check a doctor to give you one of the many, many reasons that you may not be able to actually build muscle. On top of that, to build muscle, you have to eat a fuckload of food. You think you're eating a lot, you might not be. Consult with other people who are building mass. You might think you're eating a lot because you have a small stomach, right? But if you need to be consuming, and somebody that actually keeps better track of this shit can keep it up. But per pound of your body, you need to be consuming a gram basically of protein per day to maintain your physique. You need to be doing 1.5 to 2 times that in protein to grow. So you might be hitting, and your muscle mass can become dense too. There's also, let's get into it. Let's get into how to build muscle real quick. You need more calories. I think we're probably done with Vaush. I don't think he's going to say anything particularly interesting. I forgive you for anything that I missed. All right, Vaush based. There you go. This is very important because a lot of people don't understand this. First off, there's just different ways to build muscle at all. So without getting into the specific scientific terms of it, you can be going for making your muscle bigger, and you can be going for making your muscle stronger, right? Neither of these two results are more honorable or better than the other one. Your literal genetics will determine a lot of which gets done in certain respects. Bad workouts will prevent you from building muscle, and also ignorant workouts will prevent you from building muscle. If you want to get stronger, load over time, basically, and a lot of load over a lot of time. So a lot of mid-weight reps. A lot of people don't understand that they're doing weights wrong. They're exercising wrong because it's very embarrassing to go to the gym and you don't lift things correctly, and you're nervous about it, so you end up lifting shit incorrectly for forever. There's also a lot of bad weightlifting advice, but generally, from what you know, if you just want to know how a muscle works, touch it and then flex it. Move your arm around and see how that works, right? If you get your muscle stretched out right? That's, I can't remember, it's a phase of it. You need to go at least that far out, and then you need to try to contract it. The stretch part is a little bit more important than the contraction part, okay? And you want to try to get that entire muscle in there. If you're trying to build muscles, work on the muscle. If you're trying to build actions, work on the action. If you're trying to do pull-ups, you don't need to build the pull-up muscles as much as you need to practice doing pull-ups. So get on the bar and hang, do dead hangs, do assists. If you're trying to build your lats, focus on what makes your lats flex, and then try to get that flexed from as many different directions as possible so that the muscle can get the maximum amount of work done on it. There's a lot of people online that can talk to you about this ad nauseum, and there's a lot of different camps. If you're new to it, understand two things, all right? Two things. First off, rest. You have to take a break. If you're my age, you have to take two. Sorry to say it, you're fucking old now. Get dunked on. But don't worry, that's fine. If you're a young person and you go and you work out at the gym because you've got a lot of energy, you go 5 times, 6 times a week, 5 or 6 times a week, and you're hitting it all and you're getting exhausted and you're not building muscle, it's because you're not resting. You're not taking enough time for your body to stop moving and rebuild itself, or you're not eating enough, or both. A lot of people overexert their bodies because they think that exertion alone equals mass increase or strength increase. That is not the case. That is an aspect of it. You have to exhaust the muscle by creating micro tears through repeated use. That's an aspect of working out. You have to exhaust the entire muscle. So when I go back like this, boom, chest, flex, back, flex. That's a whole rep, right? You want to get the whole muscle in there. Practice the mechanics of it and be safe, but you have to exhaust the whole muscle. It has to be exhausted. The effort you put in is going to be worthless if you don't go to approaching failure every time. That doesn't mean you have to drop the fucking thing on your neck or you have to be shaking. The most important reps of any exercise set are going to be the ones that your body gets exhausted by at the end. If you think that you're going to have an MMF moment, a momentary muscular failure, and drop something, be safe, work with a spotter. But you want to try to push into those, when you see people go, come on, 2 more. The 2 more is where growth really starts to happen because that's when your body has been exhausted. Everything before that is setting yourself up for the moment where you're actually being tired out. You can click after that. If you can get 1 more, do it. If you can't, don't. Never risk your health at the gym because you're going to gain less mass by injuring yourself than you will by just doing exercises a little bit less than maximum effort. After that, you need to eat protein and calories. Do not try to lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. It's fucking impossible. That's called a clean bulk, and it is a long-standing joke in the gym industry. It is just not a thing that really most anybody can do, and the people that do it end up with fucking destroyed limbs. Protein, at least 1 gram per body weight, right? 1 gram per body weight, which seems like a lot. That's why you have protein powder. The protein is going to go into your body and fix all the shit that you just fucked up. On top of that, you're also going to eat stuff that has like a lot of collagen and a lot of all of this stuff. You want to have just a really good, really healthy, really big diet because that's going to repair all the different parts of your body that you're fucking expending. You're going to need all the extra blood you're pumping. You're going to need more iron in your blood. You're going to need more this, that, and the other. Niacin, all sorts of shit. I always remember niacin. I don't know why it's the only protein I can ever remember. I know vitamin B6, I think, and vitamin A maybe are proteins. I'm not a nutritionist. Talk to a nutritionist about this stuff. But you need protein and you need calories because your body will borrow from shit to make shit. So it might not feel like it. You're like, oh man, I got a good workout. I ate plenty, but I'm still trying to lose weight, so I'm not going to eat that many calories. Congratulations, dipshit. Your body just borrowed fucking muscle fiber from your ass to build your chest. And the next day when you fucking work your ass muscles, it's going to borrow to fix your ass, it's going to borrow from your shoulders. And then you're going to keep going in a big circle of your body borrowing from other parts of it because what it needs to grow is excess. I know. You're like, fuck, I got to eat more to look better. Yeah, you got to eat more good shit and you got to work out more. That's actually what you need to do. And a lot of times you'll be heavier and look skinnier because your body will be more to the correct, so they say, shape that it could be, just closer to just the biological fucking like slate of having, if you're a guy, big shoulders, big chest, kind of a skinnier waist, skinnier hip waist is what I mean, thighs and all that good shit. The last thing you need is rest. And that's going to be the hardest thing for anybody to do, especially once you get fucking excited, especially if you're one of these CrossFit fucking psychos. You have to rest. And if you're old, I'll say it again and again and again, you have to rest twice. I know it fucking sucks. You want to be fucking 22 again. Sorry, bud. Never going to happen. You got to rest. You have to take big, long sleeps. You got to go sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. You're going to have to sleep on the weekends. You are going to have to not go to the gym. You're going to have to not go to the gym sometimes. It's going to happen once you've done it for like 2 or 3 years. You're going to have a fucking nightmare moment where you're like, I have plateaued. Why have I plateaued so hard at the gym? And then you have to take a week off because you do something that requires you to take a week off. And then you go back to the gym and you're fucking stronger than you were before you left and you haven't been working out in a week and a half. You know why? Because you rested and your body finally rebuilt itself for the first fucking time in months. You have to rest. If you're fat or you're fucking really out of shape, you have to rest 3 times. Sorry, you got to. I know that sounds crazy. What? I thought the fat guy had to work out harder than everybody. No, he's fat. He fucking never worked out. All right, like dude, if you're just extra shit, you're fucking weak, dude. Your body's like, holy fuck, I'm doing this for the first time. Congratulations, you get to take 3 offs. If you're really, really heavy, especially if you're really, really, really heavy, and you're doing stuff that is just moving around your house, flopping around in your chair, doing some ground exercises that are wrecking your shit, it's okay to take 3 rests compared to the 1 rest. Don't stop working out. But literally give your body plenty of time between time. When you stop being that workout tired, that tired is your indication to sleep. You should sleep. Sleep is the real rest I'm talking about. And maybe a break here or two. You need that sleep because your body's going to fix itself. Your body's going to fix you. And you'll feel better and you'll get stronger as you rest. It's really one of the biggest issues with young people. Young people fucking work out way too hard, 6-7 days a week. They don't cycle their muscles. Do not do full body exercises every day unless you're specifically into like a full body calisthenics routine because you do like gymnastics or something. Even then, try to mix it up so that muscles have 5 days between rests. That will give you the ability to build muscle. So and this is not just, I mean, this is mostly just building muscle advice, but for real, it can work for a lot of exercise. But if you are out of shape, I can't stress this enough, big rests. Do not be the person who gets excited because you watch something on TV or someone got you fucking fired up and you start jogging every day for a week and you're proud of yourself and you think you've lost 6 pounds in a week because you technically have, because you've been weighing yourself every day and you're finally sweating and you've boiled off a bunch of fucking water fat. And then your fucking knee explodes on Saturday, and by a year from then, you're 100 pounds heavier because you're depressed because you tried to work out one time, and you lost track of who you are and what you were capable of, and fucked it up for yourself. Do not be the person who goes back to the gym for the first time in 10 years and breaks their own heart because they can't lift what they did when they were on the fucking football team when they were 17. You know, and now you're 27 and you're that deep into a desk job and you say, oh, fuck, get into your little fucking head and quit. Or you blow your fucking arm out because you're trying to bench 235 and you haven't touched a bench press in 10 years and your fucking rotator cuff explodes. Don't do that. If you're brand new to the gym, don't work out that hard. I know it sounds crazy. Literally don't. Go in there 2 or 3 times a week tops. Don't work out. A good program will have you doing 3 to 5 sets of this many to that many reps to failure. For the first couple weeks you go in, do 2 sets. Literally, do 2 sets. If you don't know how the machines work, have a day where you just go around reading the machines, read the words on the side of the machines, and then just try that. Just try one thing. Try one thing as many times, and you go, okay, and then go to the next one. And just try to read the machine and see what it says. And just do 1, maybe 2 sets. and then walk around a bit. Go mess with it. It's your gym. You paid for a membership. It's your gym now, like it is for everybody else's. Stay out of people's way, see what they're doing, and then just leave. When you're a little bit tired and you're a little bit sweaty, just leave. That's fine. And then the next time you go in, do it again. And then the next time you go in, if you do it and you're a little bit bored, try to focus on going kind of hard on the machine you enjoyed. If you enjoy the curl machine because you're like, fuck, I like curls because I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger do them one time, go and do the curls. Do the curl machine. Do it twice a week. Hey, I'm cool. This is the curl machine. Then try to add other shit when you're like, I have been doing one thing too much. As you get used to that stuff and your body adapts to just going to the gym and it becomes part of your circadian rhythm even, you'll find a lot more comfort in being there. Don't go to the gym thinking you're going to impress anybody. Don't go to the gym trying to like think that it's going to become the end point of somebody else's gym experience. Just go in there very casually and get used to being in there, especially if you're not from there. And don't burn yourself out. It's the rest of your life is what you're trying to do. You're trying to improve the rest of your life. So take the journey easy, okay? Spend as much time as you want in Pallet Town, so to say. You don't have to try to speed run the existence that you are existing in. And then once things start getting a little challenging or start getting a little easy, challenge yourself. Don't necessarily make it all about just hitting your schedule every week. Right now, my biggest thing is trying to get 10 fucking big wide grip pull-ups. I'm so far away from it, and I keep getting setbacks. But it's like, I like to think about getting 10 pull-ups. Why? Because fucking I see Lean Beef Patty on TikTok knocking fucking pull-ups out of the park, and she's a girl, and I'm upset about it because of my traditional male roles in society. I'm upset. I want to be able to do pull-ups. Also, I just think it's good to do pull-ups. I used to be able to do a bunch of them when I was in the Marines, but that's my thing. And you should approach it like that. It's a whole journey. Start small, get big. You'll hate yourself sometimes. You'll falter. You'll fail. You'll get injured. You'll maybe embarrass yourself. You'll do all sorts of things will happen, but you're going to go back again because it's your place. It's your journey. It's your arc, your series of arcs. All right. And it's the rest of your life. And you have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. Take a breath, get on the machine, jog a little bit. And then when you're ready for more, there's always more. It's the fucking gym. And if you're the biggest guy in the gym, time to go to a new gym.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the west side. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Yeah.